Don't, whatever you do, attempt to live in a car. You can live from a car, but don't attempt to live in one. To do so is just completely mad. So I don't live in a car, I live from it. What do I mean by that? What I mean is basically I'm in the car overnight, I sleep in the car, but during the day I'm basically outside pretty much all the time, unless I'm getting from place to place in the car. So basically I live from the car but not in it as such. Now you can live in much larger vans, motorhomes, converted transit type vans, sprinters, but you really can't live in a tiny car like this. You can certainly live from one. So because I live from my van rather than within it, it means when I want to work I need to go wandering and find a cafe. So I can use the public facilities, so there are toilets over there. That's how I go to the loo. This is Castle Beach in Falmouth. A little cafe down here so I can get coffee and work from a cafe on the beach. Now, there's about 7 foot between the bottom of the passenger seat well and the back of this little car. So I've fitted a bed mattress of about 6 foot in there, and that's fine for sleeping obviously, but not so good for working or generally living, which is why I live from my tiny car rather than in it per se. Now I moved into my van in February 2018 here in Falmouth in England, in the UK, in Cornwall, where I actually purchased a van in Falmouth. So I lived in that van, which was just a small Berlingo van, Citroen Berlingo. I lived in that van between February 2018 and the last dying days of 2023. And at that point, well, early 2024, early January, I purchased my car, which is a Citroen C1, another Citroen, very tiny vehicle this time. So I'd already downsized in order to live in the Berlingo, and I was required to downsize dramatically in order to live from the Citroen C1. So I had a reasonably good start. I don't have a house, and I had a lot of possessions to sort of downsize from the Berlingo to the C1. So I still got the Berlingo. It's stranded in Ventnor, my hometown on the Isle of Wight, and I'm using that for storage for now. I will get rid of it within probably a few weeks, to be honest. But now I'm in the C1, a very tiny car, which you've just seen. Means I've had to get rid of a load more of my possessions. So I own very, very little. So I don't have any storage that I rent. So apart from the Berlingo, the stranded Berlingo, which I'm using to store some stuff, that's it. That's all my possessions, and I'm more than happy with that situation. What you'll find is if you minimise all your kind of accumulated stuff, so I had accumulated an awful lot of stuff when I used to live in a house, a more conventional lifestyle, and I had to get rid of all of that. So I donated all of my massive book library. That was mainly what my possessions consisted of was books. I had to get rid of all of those, so I donated them all, believe it or not. 2 rooms worth of books, donated them to students at Exeter University because they were all non-fiction, natural history type books, so they all went. That was difficult to do, but you kind of have a weird relief once you kind of downsize and suddenly have very few possessions. It's very freeing, and now as a nomad I just feel so much better than being tied to a particular house, even though it's rather a nice house in Ventnor. So that went. It was actually my parents' house, so I didn't gain anything from it being sold. It's kind of jointly owned, but hey ho.